couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with a professional here in the UK on UK immigration because of my decision to switch from the visa I am currently. And I was shocked to learn quite, a number of things when it comes to switching your visa in the UK and the implication it has on your application for your indefinite leave to remain. I've always had doubts. I wasn't super clear on the implication of switching from a skilled worker visa to another visa here in the UK. And when I was about to make that decision and I just wanted to seek a professional opinion, I got to know some of the things that I wasn't sure or never knew about when it comes to switching visa. So if you're contemplating to switch your visa in the future or you're about to switch your visa, then you definitely need to watch this video till the end. If you have anyone who's about to switch his or her visa in the UK, ensure they also watch this video till the end. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, please hit the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. A couple of weeks ago, I and my fiance, we had a conversation, doing our strategic, meetings and, times we making plans on our stay in the UK. And we made a decision that since we are both on a skilled worker visa, it makes more sense if I switch to the dependent visa, because of the restrictions we both got on the tier 2 visa. We're not allowed to work more than 20 hours outside our contracted 37.5 hours with our employer, which limits us from being able to make some money. Now, after I made that, we had that conversation, we both came to that conclusion. I decided to speak to a friend who has been in this particular situation also a couple of years ago. And after getting what he has to say, I also, sought counsel from a legal professional based on, that has experience, legal knowledge of the implication of switching visa in the UK. And to my surprise, I was shocked on some of the things that, I got to know about. And I'm so glad I made that decision to consult those people before going ahead with that particular decision. It would have been one of the biggest mistakes I would have made in the United Kingdom. Now, for context, if you're currently on the tier 4 visa or the tier 2 visa in the UK, if you're on the tier 4, you can't work more than 20 hours as a student. And if you're on the tier 2, you can't work more than 20 hours extra, outside your contracted hour with your employer. And because I'm in the IT space, I work as a data analyst here in the UK, and I was thinking it makes more sense because I know how much, a couple of my friends who are also in the IT space are making, because most of them are on dependent visa. And I felt it makes more sense since my partner is on a tier 2 visa also. While we both on a tier 2 visa, being restricted, while one person can be on a dependent visa and I can have the chance to, do some contract job and make a very substantial amount of money. And that was the ideology about it. And I got to know that decision has some implication when I'm about to apply for my indefinite leave to remain, which I'm going to share with you guys on this. I'm going to share with you guys and also share you guys the evidence on the gov.uk website. And because it makes more sense, honestly, at least I'm so much restricted right now. And for me, I really get bored because I've got a lot of time on my hands, guys. I work most of the time from home. The few time I go to the office, like 5:30, I'm back home already. So I've got a lot of time to do quite a few things. Most of my time outside work is to make YouTube videos for you guys, as I'm doing right now, and watch TV and engage in some other things, which those time can be channeled into making more money outside my contracted 37.5 hours, which was the motive or the reason behind that decision. However, I got to know that it's going to affect my indefinite leave to remain application. Now, we're going to go on gov.uk so you can see some of the eligibility criteria for applying for your indefinite leave to remain if you're applying on a if you're applying on a dependent visa. Now, if you're applying for your ILR as a dependent, you can only qualify if all of the following apply. Number one, you have permission to be in the UK as a partner that is on a dependent visa. Your partner has lived in the UK with you as your dependent. Now you need to note, it's not to have lived in the UK for at least 5 continuous years. You have to have lived in the UK as the primary applicant dependent for at least 5 continuous years. Your relationship is genuine. You intend to keep living together, and you have enough income to support yourselves and your dependents, and you are not using public funds. Now, all of this, criteria are pretty straightforward. The second one is one that I really never paid so much attention to when I was reading before we even had that conversation. It says that you have lived in the UK with your partner as their dependent for at least 5 continuous years. So even if you have lived in the UK on a tier 4 visa or on a tier 2 visa before you met your partner, you can't switch, or you can apply for your indefinite leave to remain after 5 years of continuous stay in the UK, which was one of the things my friend told me about when he was about to make that same decision. He had been on a tier 2 visa for about 2.5 years, and when he met his partner, she was also on a tier 2 visa. She was a nurse. She's still a nurse, by the way. And so when they made that decision, it was like, oh, he needs to move to become a dependent. When he applied for the dependent visa, he got the dependent visa, obviously. And after 3 years on the dependent visa, mind you, the wife has also been here roughly the same time, about 2 years before they met. So when the wife applied for the indefinite leave to remain, he also applied, because obviously he was on a tier 2 visa for 2.5 years. He was on the dependent visa with his partner for additional 3 years, which makes sense, 5 years. Then they both applied for the indefinite leave to remain. His wife's application was granted while his own application was rejected, because he was told he still needs to be on the dependent visa for another 2 years before he is eligible to apply for the indefinite leave to remain, which really got him so pissed, because he felt he has been in the UK continuously on the tier 2 visa for 2 years and dependent for 3 years. Then he should be eligible. Obviously, the visa was denied, and I learned this from him. But because of someone like me, I like to get 2 opinions before I make a decision. So I went further to speak to this lawyer who said the same thing, and pointed me to what I'm saying right now to explain in details, which when after learning this, I felt I really do need to share this video or this information with those people on my channel. People who are thinking the way I'm thinking, being futuristic. It might be a very big and wrong decision. Now let's see what's on the gov.uk. It states that your partner can include time they've spent as your dependent on another visa to count towards the continual years they need to qualify. Listen to this. This is the deal breaker. They said they cannot count any time spent on their own visa, not as your dependent. Honestly, this was a deal breaker for me. I was like, okay, how come I never saw this? It means that regardless of the visa you are on, so I'm just going to give you a scenario. For instance, if I'm on a tier 2 visa for 3 years and my partner was my dependent, and after 3 years, I decided to switch career, decided to become a carer, and I switched to a care visa for another 2 years, and my partner also switched from the tier 2 visa, which was a dependent, to becoming my dependent on the care visa, then she's eligible to apply for the indefinite leave to remain. However, if she was on the tier 2 visa for the first 3 years and she's switching to becoming my dependent on the the care visa, she has to wait another 3 years, meaning she's going to probably be in the UK for 8 years before she can apply for the indefinite leave to remain. And that's the situation. So if you're planning to switch your visa, you need to ensure you understand this properly. If you're on a student visa and you switch to someone's tier 2 visa, obviously you're starting to count from year 1. However, if you've once been in a work visa and you meet a partner that's on a work visa, please do not switch to each other's visa, except you're happy to start counting from that day 1, which was what I would have done, and later realized that I made a decision. Probably the first 1 year I've been on the skilled worker visa will have been to waste. So I'll need to start counting again if I decide to switch to my partner's tier 2 visa as a dependent. I hope this video is useful. I hope you find this video informative, especially if you're planning to make the same decision I was about to make, and it's going to help you and save you loads of years. When it comes to applying for your indefinite leave to remain. So if you find this video useful, click on the like button. If you have any question or you want us to chat about something, please state in the comment section. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, please hit the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. My returning subscribers, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I will see you guys most definitely in the next video. Thank you.